In our quest to make piano technique easier, more reliable, more accurate, oftentimes we could get caught in a trap. We keep practicing, we seem to sometimes get it right, but it's not reliable. Sometimes it could lead to pain and tension. Where can we find answers, wisdom, not only tricks and techniques, but true wisdom that will give us the solution to even piano problems each and every time? Well, the answer is found in the ultimate book of wisdom, if you ask me, the Bible. And I'd like to show you how a certain ancient principle holds the key to figuring out even the trickiest of piano problems. So I'd like to just burst a misconception about the piano. I go more in depth about this in my Golden Tone Technique course, but the reframe is this. We shouldn't think of the piano keys as purely in lines running horizontally and vertically, these little chopped up lines, because what that does is it gets us into a very constricted, tight position and up and down, piano fingers moving like levers. So when we think in lines, vertical, horizontal lines, we are basically introducing tension and unnatural motion. What is natural motion? Well, natural motion is in the wisdom found around us in nature and even in the Bible. And it is the wisdom of the wheel. And I will tell you what I mean right now. It comes from the ancient Old Testament book of Ezekiel. And what I will read to you right now is the key to unlocking the answer to difficulties in piano playing, and I will demonstrate how this works in a difficult left-hand section in the Chopin Prelude Opus 28, number 3. So in the book of Ezekiel, it talks about the principle of the wheel. And in this book I have, which is a great book, David Herzog's book, The Ancient Portals of Heaven, he talks about this passage in the book of Ezekiel, and he says that it talks about wheels of the living creatures moving as a wheel within a wheel, causing it to be able to move up and down, almost describing the helicopter or a hovercraft. And possibly it was an ancient blueprint for modern aircraft of today. So the passage from Ezekiel says, when the living creatures went, the wheels went besides them. And when the living creatures were lifted up from the earth, the wheels were lifted up. Wherever the Spirit wanted to go, they went. Because there the Spirit went, and the wheels were lifted together with them. For the spirit of the living creatures was in the wheels. And that's from Ezekiel chapter 1, verse 19 to 20. I'll never forget when this principle really made itself known to me. And that happened a couple years back, where it really just came together in this very difficult Chopin coda of the Ballade number 1. And I've been practicing that passage over and over, and it never felt right, and it was never comfortable. And then suddenly I just gave up, and I was so frustrated, and I just said, God, please, I need an answer. I need an answer. And really suddenly I started to open up my body, and I started to feel like the elbows were moving like wheels, truly like it. And it felt, when it started to come together, it felt like wheels within wheels. We know that when we rotate on our fingers, it creates a kind of wheel. And our arm and our shoulder socket here is also rotational, right? Our shoulder is a rotational joint. So we have the ability to create circles. And so, of course, understanding how to apply this law of motion into piano playing is the key to really solving even the most difficult problems. So let's turn right now to the Chopin Prelude Opus 28 number 3, and right away we can see that there is a main technical issue going on in the left hand part. We have a few things going on here. First of all, we have rapid motion. Left hand is just moving and moving and moving very quickly. So we have to deal with the issue of speed. We also have to deal with a very interesting position changes, micro position changes that exist even within this passage. So I'd like to show you how to break this down within a small passage in a piece of music, and then you'll be able to apply this principle to anything you're practicing. So let's talk about the different position changes, because even within this first measure of music, which, let me highlight that, okay, this first measure of music, we have this first position, okay, so you can think of it as position 1, followed by a leap. Okay, so this kind of represents another kind of mental station you have to make for yourself. I'm a big believer in splitting things up into stations for yourself. So you can think about, when you're playing a difficult passage, you just think, okay, I have my first station, second station. So this is the second station. The second station is that jump, that leap of a sixth. So this is station 1. Station 2, which is your leap, which kind of intersects with station 1 in a way. And then a change of direction, followed by another one of these leaps of the sixth. So we have 3 issues going on. We have motion up, little motion down, a leap, motion down, up, but that counts as one move, and followed by another leap. Okay, so let's now talk about these circles, these wheels inside wheels that ancient wisdom from the Bible talks about, but we can apply it to piano playing. So here we can think of 2 different wheels working. The wheel of rotation. So rotating as you go up, you're rotating this way, like this, like a doorknob, like the rotational move of a doorknob. However, that's not the only wheel we need to think about, because if we think of only this one, we're going to get jammed up in the leap of a sixth. Because if you're rotating, it's going to be really kind of sloppy, and it's going to be too much motion. And then you won't be in position for that descent down. As you could hear, I already fudged that. So we need a second wheel. We always need to have, as the Bible said in Ezekiel, wheel inside a wheel. What is the other wheel? So we have the horizontal rotation. We add the vertical rotation up and down. This is a powerful, powerful move to use, especially when you have this leap. So instead of thinking side to side rotation, think of up and in, up and in. Using the real state inside your keyboard, inside where the black keys are, is very powerful because it locks your hand into a powerful position. When we're playing on the extremities of the keys, it's a very, very dubious place to be. You could fall out, it's sketchy, it's not a very comfortable spot. So watch in slow motion. We go rotation, horizontal, that's station 1. Station 2, I push in, I put the wheel inside. So I really think of going up inside the keys as I reach towards that E. Up, then I just climb down. After that, you can do just that little, slight little horizontal move. I go in much, much further depth on this in some of my previous YouTube videos, and really the fullest depth in my Golden Tone Technique course, which will be open for enrollment soon. But if you go to the website listed below, you'll find a quick start video where I talk about a great setup position so that you can right away start to put into practice these tips. Sharps here, and it's very difficult to get that key change without preparing and going inside. Again, this is a moment where that again, that vertical rotation is so helpful. I'll show you. Watch. Right? So you just, again, you get in there, and that helps you get that F sharp and that C sharp, which is otherwise, if you stay outside, you know, it's going to be very hard to reach. Right? So that's much easier that way when you go in. So I have full-length tutorials that I am releasing on each and every one of the Chopin Preludes on chopindreams.com, which you can check out, and just let me know what you think about the wheel inside of a wheel. It's such a mystery, really. As I read the passage from Ezekiel yesterday, I was struck by the mystery of it all, but yet how these are wisdoms we see applied to the laws of aerodynamics, the way planes fly, helicopters, etc. And when we think about piano playing, we really must think that we are operating on many dimensions. The same way that aircraft does in space, we have to operate also our bodies in space. So it makes sense that you use the same laws as aerodynamics to make your piano playing really start to take off and fly. And best part of all is to come up with solutions in a quick way, because you just deduce it must be, you know, like the problem must be either my horizontal rotation, my vertical rotation, and if it's not in your hand, then it must be somewhere involved in your elbow. Where is it in space? Is it too far out? Is it too far in? Or your shoulders, you know, are your shoulders free and supporting a light arm? Again, these are more things that I go more in length in on my YouTube tutorials, which you could check out on my channel. And thank you so much for joining me today, and I look forward to hearing how you apply the wheels inside of a wheel in your piano practice, and let me know how that goes.